Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. So today we're going to talk about, refurb work, renovation teams, builders, tradesmen, etc. Particularly when your investment property is all the way up north or in the Midlands and you're based in London or Greater London and there's like a huge distance between you and the property. Now this video topic actually came about based on a subscriber request, and I think it's really relevant and actually a really great question because like the way things are going, everybody's trying to invest up north because you can buy properties cheaper and get a greater return on your money versus investing locally. And yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But when it comes to like refurb work, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to buy a property to add value, you're gonna have to do some significant refurb in order to achieve that. You need to get the right team in place. You need to get the right builders and contractors and people like that involved. So how do you find them when you're all the way over here and your property is like 3-4 hours away from you? Well, in this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys all about that. I'm going to be talking to you about how to find tradesmen for that investment property that is, miles away from you. Okay, so method number one is none other than referrals. I always feel like referrals are the best way to find tradesmen, to find people to do work for you, just because you at least know that you know of somebody that has had work done by that person and it's been done to a certain standard. You can at least avoid the situation of having someone come to do work and it's just complete like rubbish or, overly priced. If you happen to know of anyone that lives in the area that you're planning to buy an investment property in, it could be a family member, a friend, a colleague, it could literally be anybody, anyone that you have some form of acquaintance with. Ask them if they've worked with any tradesmen, any sort of like people that you need to do your refurb work, and get their details. That's a great way to find a sort of trustworthy or a reliable person that's going to be able to get your job done properly and somebody that you can trust to a degree. When I bought my investment property, although it wasn't a complete refurb, I needed to do some bits in the bathroom and I also needed to completely like transform the garden area. And so I got a referral based on a family member for somebody that could come and do that work for me. And unsurprisingly, the work was done really well. And to be honest, I didn't have any fear that the work would be done well because again, it was based on somebody that I knew. Somebody that I knew had used this contractor to do some work in their property and they were pleased with the results. So this is why I always feel like referrals is your best source of getting a tradesman, somebody to come and do some work for you, because you can kind of guarantee that the finish is going to be what you want. You can also go further and get like other customer reviews in terms of like how they found the tradesman, whether they worked well, whether they did things on time, cost wise, were they worth it, were they overpriced, things like that. You can do your own further due diligence. But yeah, number one is definitely referral. And I feel like if you're going to get an investment property that is far away from where you are, always start off with people that who may be like based in that area or have links in that area. The second method that you can use to find renovation teams or tradesmen for your investment property is to speak to estate agents or letting agents. So did you buy your property through an estate agent? If so, you definitely want to speak to them. These are a great source of finding like, tradesmen, contractors, builders, etc. Because really estate agents or more letting agents, they rely on having like good, tradesmen on their books in order to resolve tenant issues when tenants call up with problems. And so I definitely say that speaking to a letting agent is a great source of finding good people to do work on your property because you can guarantee that the work will be done to a good standard, to a good finish. When deciding to work with a tradesman based on a letting agent or an estate agent's referral, again you can still do your further due diligence. So you can speak to the contractor or whoever it may be about getting previous customer reviews, seeing examples of previous work that they've done, so pictures and things like that, just to make you feel more comfortable and at least have a better idea of what the outcome is going to look like. Now I'm also aware that a concern that you may have when it comes to working with contractors based on an estate agent's referral is the fact that maybe the contractor is going to be overly priced or too expensive for the kind of work that you need done. But this is not always the case. So in my example, the previous letting agent that I was using, I actually required some decorating work after I had a rewire done in my property, and so the decorator that the letting agent advised that I could use was actually really good. Like after the whole rewiring job, like he plastered what needed to be plastered, painted everything like properly. Like you would not be able to tell that the property had to go through a rewire, even down to the floorboards. Floorboards were lifted and this decorator literally put everything back down as it was, so I didn't even have to buy new flooring. Like he just done a really good job. I was so impressed, and he wasn't overpriced at all. So that's a good example of finding a good tradesman through your agent. The third method that you can use to find tradesmen or renovation teams for your investment property is MyBuilder.com. Now, I personally use MyBuilder.com and I loved it. So if you don't know, MyBuilder.com is basically a website whereby you can create a job listing for the work that you want done, and then various tradesmen, depending on the kind of work that you need done, will basically like write in to say that they'd like to complete your job. They'll ask if you want them to come around so that they can give you a proper quote based on, you know, actually seeing the job that needs to get done. And I just think it's a really good site because, you know, it's very transparent. The contractors on there, these are people that are qualified to do their jobs, and so like I just find it a very trustworthy source. It's almost like getting a referral, but really it's not a referral because you don't know these people, but because the platform is so known and trusted, it just makes you feel so much more comfortable. I also like the fact that with mybuilder.com, and basically there's images of the contractor's previous work, so you can see images and even videos sometimes of what they've done. Previous customers also leave reviews, and these aren't reviews that are like years old. These are reviews that could be like, you know, last week, last month, like really current reviews. And so you can go in knowing that, you know, the person that you're going to work with is actually somebody that is credible, somebody that has been doing good work and continues to do good work. And as I said, these are qualified people, and again, you're going through this third-party platform, which just makes the whole thing a lot more secure, especially when you're working with somebody that you don't really know yourself. So yeah, I really do like mybuilder.com. I've used it myself and I'll definitely use it again. I previously got an electrician from there to do the rewire of my property, and so yeah, I had a really good experience. And yeah, there's not much more that I can say, but yeah, mybuilder.com if, you know, you're unable to find somebody to do the renovation work in your property. Okay, now the final method that you can use to find tradespeople or renovation teams for your investment property is to use your property network. And if you don't have one, like get started building one. It's so easy, like I promise you. With lockdown, one of the advantages is that social media and networking has been so much more easier. Like I myself, I found Clubhouse so useful in these last few months. Also LinkedIn, I've made so many new connections on LinkedIn, Instagram, like all over social media. There's Facebook groups as well, so there's literally no excuse. The same way that you can share information and knowledge on these social platforms is also the same way that you can exchange like tradesmen. So if you know of investors that, you know, invest in a certain area and so will have tradesmen in that area, definitely get in touch with people like that. Speak to them and see if you can get any referrals through them. Like it's so easy and it's harmless. Even if you ask and you don't get the answer that you want, like there's no harm done, you've tried. But I just feel like, you know, so many people are definitely open to collaborating and you know working with others nowadays, so there's literally no harm. Social media and building your network is so valuable in finding good tradesmen. Of course, again, do your due diligence. So get pictures of the work that, you know, the contractor or tradesman has done for that person. Get customer reviews. Like do as much research as you can, but rest assured at least, you know, you've gotten this person or this referral from somebody that's also in the same, like, you know, area as you and doing the same kind of things as you. So that should make you feel a bit more comfortable. So guys, that is it from me. That is 4 methods that you can use to find tradesmen and, you know, renovation teams to do work in your investment property. I hope you find this video useful. If you know of any other ways that, you know, people can use to find your tradesmen for properties where they, you know, they're far away from where they live, then please do also share in the comments. That would be really helpful. Again, if you have any other video topics or suggestions of videos that you'd like me to create, then please do also note those down in the comments and I'll get around to making those videos for you. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye.